On the line right now is a man who has written pop, rock, and power ballad classics that have sold over 30 million copies and charting 18 top 10 hits. One of those songs, Eye of the Tiger, you may have heard of that, was certified triple platinum. Jim Peterik is the founding member of the Ides of March, survivor, and an author. Jim's hook-laden power ballads, pop and rock classics have been recorded in addition to his bands by 38 Special and Sammy Hagar, and collaborated, see, it's easy for me to say, with Brian Wilson for That's Why God Made the Radio, Jim's latest CD. The songs are his hits reimagined, offering a fresh take on American classics and 2 new tracks. The songs are available on Amazon, iTunes, or wherever legal digital downloads are found. This CD is a Berman Show absolute add to your collection. Jim's website is jimpeterik.com. Facebook, official Jim Peterik. Twitter, Jim Peterik. Welcome back to the Marc Berman Show, one of my personal favorite songwriters. This is Jim Peterik. Welcome.
Hey, Marc. Thanks for having me on. And, man, what a great introduction. I'm going to take you on the road, man.
I'd love to go on the road. So, Jim, before we talk about your latest, let's take a few minutes to talk about your career. You worked with the late Bill Chase. You were touring with the band. Were you touring with the band during the time of the untimely death?
I was. I was very fortunate to be not on that plane, and it was such a tragic day when that plane went down. I was doing shows with Bill to promote Pure Music, which was his latest album, which I sang and wrote 2 of the songs on there, Love Is On the Way and Run Back to Mama. So we were doing these showcases, and we played New York City, we played Chicago, and then I had a show with the Ides of March, and I couldn't do the next leg, and unfortunately that's when the plane went down. The same plane the Ides of March used to charter, same pilot, Dirty Dan, all went down, and we lost a band, a great, Bill Chase was just one of the best, one of the greatest trumpet players, and a pioneer, really.
Absolutely. You got to get it on. I can just hear it now in my head. You put together the Ides of March while in high school.
Yeah.
So the first time the world heard the Ides of March, Vehicle, it was during the horn band years of pop radio with BS&T, Chicago, and Chase. You get this a lot. The first time I and the world heard Vehicle, everybody thought it was David Clayton Thomas. Do you hear that?
I hear that a lot, and there was a lot of confusion, and I brought it on myself because he was one of my heroes, and of course he was channeling Ray Charles, but yeah. I was channeling David Clayton Thomas. The Ides of March, we went as a group to see BS&T at the Kinetic Playground in Northside Chicago. That's when you paid $5 and you saw 3 bands, probably like Led Zeppelin, Blood, Sweat and Tears, and Pacific Gas and Electric for $5, and you sat on the floor. And we were gobsmacked by BS&T. It was right when David Clayton joined the band and took over from Al Cooper. And they started out with more and more. It just parted our hair, And I had already written Vehicle. In fact, I actually gave David Clayton Thomas, I tried to give him a cassette of that song for them to do. And he totally blew me off. He was a very rude person. So I tried it. I had no fear. I tried it up to the dressing room, and I gave it to Steve Katz, and he actually took it. Yeah. And about 6 months later, Vehicle was #1 on the charts, and we ran into BS&T at the Atlanta airport. And Steve Katz is going, "Hey, congratulations on your #1." I said, "Did you ever listen to that tape I gave you?" He goes, "No." I said, "Well, It was on there."
Things just happen for a reason.
I'm telling you, I'm so glad we didn't. So glad he didn't hear that song, because the Ides of March wouldn't have a #1 record right now.
And me too. The Ides of March have shared the stage with Led Zeppelin, Janis Joplin, but then you were probably playing rooms like Bill Graham's Fillmore. But then you start Survivor, and you're an arena rock band. So of all the venues you've played, Which one gives you the greatest rush to think about?
Well, Madison Square Garden, maybe. I mean, it's such an iconic place. And I the Tiger was number one, and man, just the crowd response to that song was just overwhelming. I think that was a great memory for me. But also, way back in '71 when we opened for Led Zeppelin, that was Ides of March, of course. We played a giant stadium in Winnipeg, and we had the show of our life. We killed. We got a standing ovation after every number. I mean, Led Zeppelin could not follow the Ides of March that night, and they knew it. They kind of knew it. It was just, and they invited us to their penthouse suite for a party, and we went up there and we looked at what was going on in that party room, and Larry and I and Mike and Bob, we shook our heads and said, "See you later." And we went for donuts across the street. It was just too wild for us. We were 19 years old.
These are the stories that our listening audience loves. It's the things that they're not going to get with the regular documentaries. You're hearing it right from the people like yourself who have been there and done that. How did Eye of the Tiger get hooked up with Rocky?
Well,
I'm from Philly.
Yeah, that's. Well, I'll tell you, it's the phone call that changed my life. I get home and I play the answering machine and I hear, "Hey, yo, Jim, give me a call, Sylvester Stallone." And I'm going, "Yeah, right. Someone's punking me here, And I played for my wife, and she goes, "You better call him back, man." It was an 818 area code, so it was a good start, And I called him back, and very tentatively I said, "This is Jim Peterik. Is this really Sylvester Stallone?" He goes, "Hey, how you doing? Call me Sly." And I'm shaking in my shoes here, a kid from Berlin, Illinois, talking to my hero and calling him Sly, And he says, "Jim, I got this new movie, Rocky III. I like the sound of your band, Survivor. That's the sound I want for my new movie. Can you help me out?" And
unbelievable.
I'm going, "Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we can do something here, And he sent us the rough cut of the movie, and Frankie got together, and we rented this giant Betamax Pro, from the video store, and watched it, and just felt the electricity of Mr. T rising up, and Stallone kind of getting soft and doing MasterCard commercials, and then the punches being thrown, and I had my Les Paul around my neck and just dun, 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 dun. I was trying to coordinate the chords with the punches, and there's that one really odd measure, and all the drummers hate me when they try to play it because it's so weird. I was trying to coordinate a punch.
Wow. That brings us to now, because you've taken these songs, the song that drummers hate you because you tried to make it sound like a punch, but now you've taken these classic songs that we love, that you've sold 30 million copies of, and you said, "I think I'll do them a little differently now." And you put out this CD that we had a preview of. I love this because what remains are the essence of the song, the hook, the songs, but you've just done them differently. A vehicle. No, we're not going to hear da-da-da-da-da, but you still bring it. Talk about it. What went into your head?
Well, I have to give a lot of credit to my producer, Fred Mullen. He did a lot of great albums that I really admired. Jimmy Webb is one of my songwriting heroes. And who isn't? I mean, this guy, who doesn't love Jimmy Webb songs, whether they know it or not? You're talking about Wichita Lineman and Galveston and on and on and on. Anyway, Fred Mullen did a Jimmy Webb 10 Easy Pieces album, and I was blown away. Karen and I would play that album over and over. Finally, I met Fred, and his specialty is really the song, stripping it down to the essence, reimagining, as you said, the classic songs and making people appreciate them from a different angle. And I was a little leery, and we went into pre-production, and he grabs a banjo and starts playing Eye of the Tiger. And I thought he was kidding. He said, "No, I'm not kidding." He grabbed a guitar, and I start strumming along, and I'm going, this is kind of working, Rising up back on the street, I did my time, took my chances. I mean, it was really cool, and it did make me realize that it is about the song. It's not necessarily about the arrangement or the guitar riff or even the brass lick. Like you said, with Vehicle, it's kind of like starts out with just a Wurlitzer piano, kind of like Riders on the Storm or something, and then I come in, I'm afraid of the stranger in the black sedan, won't you hop inside my car? I got pictures and candy. I'm a lovable man, and I can take you to the nearest star. And I'm going, hey, man, this is cool. And so I started really drinking the Kool-Aid here, and went down to Nashville, and we cut this album, Marc, almost entirely live. All those vocals you hear, except for one, live vocals, played with the band in real time. And that's unusual nowadays.
It is today. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what I found about this? I love the CD. The Search Is Over. Wow. That is so soulful. Are you kidding me?
Wow. Well, that means a lot. That was one take, me and a folk guitar and a rack harmonica. And what Fred told me, my producer told me, pretend you're busking on the street. Pretend you're, Haight-Ashbury, and you got your case open, and people are throwing quarters. And that's what I did.
Wow. I only have a couple seconds left with you, Jim. I got to ask you, we're here in Atlantic City. Do you have a history with us here? Now, I know you were here 2 weeks ago over at Borgata, but let's talk about back in the day. Do you have any memories of Steel Pier?
Oh, are you kidding? We love Steel Pier. So Vehicle is #1 on the charts. We come to Steel Pier. We played an entire week on Steel Pier following the Diving Horse. Okay, so we were in the Grand Ballroom, and right outside the Grand Ballroom, there's this giant tub of water, and our cue was, when you hear the splash, start the first number. So the horse would be poised on the tower, and he jumps, and and we go, people get ready, and we go into our opening number, and I'll never forget, the splash was the cue. They liked us so much, they brought us back the next year, also 2 years in a row for a week at Steel Pier. We used to cruise that boardwalk, and I remember the waffle guy, get your Belgian waffles. You'll love these waffles. You eat them in the morning, you bounce right out of bed. You're going to love these waffles. It was, what a scene. We loved it.
I would love to see Ides of March here in Atlantic City, because with Ides, you do Vehicle and the Ides songs, and won't Ides also play Survivor classics and stuff like that?
Oh, so yeah, we add the brass to Eye of the Tiger. We've got a 38 special medley that kills. It's basically hit after hit that I've been lucky enough to have written or co-written. But the Ides always, of course, we have our Vehicle, and You Wouldn't Listen, and LA Goodbye, and the things that were hits for us. But people love hearing the reimagined classics with brass. So it's a different thing.
It absolutely is. This CD, the songs, get it now. You don't have to leave your house. You go to Amazon, you go to iTunes. Remember, there are no more record stores. You can get it there where legal digital downloads are found. This is Jim Peterik on the Marc Berman Show. Jim, I loved having you back. And I'd love to get you back just to talk about what you've experienced on the road.
Well,
we could do that one day.
You're a very knowledgeable guy, and it shows. And your appreciation for music just really shines. And I'm